The stories told in this radio series were drawn from a collaborative research study of alcohol-related problems in Uganda. The study focused on techniques Ugandans living in the suburbs of Kampala use to respond to cases of problem drinking. Given the relatively recent introduction of Western ideas of alcoholism and addiction in Uganda, most people sought help for their problems outside the formal medical system. They visited herbalists to buy herbal emetic therapies. They made offerings to the Rubale spirits in the shrines of Basamize. They prayed for deliverance in the Pentecostal and charismatic churches. This radio series is a collection of their stories. The stories told here are true as remembered by the people who shared them with the research team. The research team hopes that in sharing these stories with you, that you may come to learn about the wide range of techniques people use to resolve situations of problem drinking. I grew up in a family of distillers in a village in central Uganda and started drinking tonto when I was only 7 years. By 15, I had shifted to waraji and marijuana. I drank to fight the sense of loneliness and isolation that I had felt after losing my mother when I was only 10. Around this time, I also started singing. Lucky for me, I was also a Bobby Wine look-alike and found that I could move easily to the clubs and ghettos of Kampala. My life continued like this for a long time, but one day in 2011, I woke up to smoke and heard music coming from a nearby church. I followed the music to the church and started attending their teachings on a regular basis. Don't get me wrong, I was still drinking and smoking at this time, but I was nevertheless embraced by the pastors despite my dreads and substance use. I kept moving between church and ghetto, but I eventually moved onto the church property and I was able to stop smoking and drinking for a full 7 months. Unfortunately, a friend in the church who was also still using took me back to the ghetto over the weekend. I relapsed and decided to leave the church. Truly, for 5 years, I wanted nothing to do with the church. That said, I was still unsettled about some things in my life, and I ended up spending 7 months in the compound of a Musamize, a traditional healer, where I did odd jobs like digging compounds, pit latrine, in exchange for treatment. But due to despair, I eventually stole the money from the basket and escaped to my home village. Back in my village, I took a job as a primary teacher and warden, but I was soon fired because of my drinking and smoking, and I decided to go back to pursue my career in music. On New Year's Eve of 2016, just as I was about to enter a club to perform with some friends, I heard a loud voice telling me to throw down my cigarette and marijuana and get born again. I believe that this voice must have been the voice of God, for I never saw anyone talk to me. The voice came from someone who I could not see. I didn't perform that night. But instead, when the crusade was happening nearby, I got saved. A month later, I returned to the Pastor Johnny's church, and I've been living on the property and sober ever since. On taking up residence at Pastor Johnny's church, I have seen my social and economic situation improve drastically. I have been given a series of small jobs with increasing levels of responsibility and visibility, the job in the parking lot being the most recent. While this job is checking license plates in the parking lot might not seem to be a big deal, this opportunity has given me a chance to interact with all the car-owning people who come to Pastor Johnny's church. These people have come to admire my positive attitude and the new system developed for registering the plates and organizing the cars. This small job has given me a way of proving their trustworthiness over a long period of time. It has also provided a means for me to increase their visibility and relationships with others who might be able to offer a pathway towards opportunities. The church, my participation, and Pastor John's church are important to me. Not only has the church been the concrete place where such jobs have manifested themselves, but the teachings of the church have also made me believe that God is training me for something big. This motivates me towards this work and towards my future. Rather than feeling stuck in a difficult job in the hot parking lot, far from the central action of the church office, I believe my work in the parking lot is a step on a divinely given pathway that is leading me to bigger and better things. Currently, I am a married man after meeting a young lady while in the parking lot. I had helped her park, and since the relationships grew. A few months later, we got legally married with a huge reception that amazed me without a formal job. I had a flashy wedding with the help of people I met at the parking lot. This continually reminds me of God's love and the blessings that have come into my life and how I was before my encounter with God. The study was carried out by Dr. China Shaz, George Mpanga, and Sarah Namirembe, and was funded by the University of Virginia, the National Science Foundation of the United States, and approved by the Uganda National Council for Science and Technology. In accordance with the requirements of the Uganda National Council for Science and Technology, they have changed the names of the people involved, as well as places and other identifying details.